It's a funny thought, but what if a poem written hundreds and hundreds of years ago could actually give us advice for our lives right now? It seems a little out there, but sometimes the most incredible wisdom comes from the most unexpected places, like, say, an ancient poem about a flower. It's a fascinating idea, and that's exactly what we're going to explore. So that's the big question on the table. Can an 800-year-old poem about a flower really teach us anything about how to live in the modern world? Well, we're about to find out. We're going to dive into a classical Korean poem that starts off super simple, just looking at nature, but ends with this massive, powerful challenge about our place in the world. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the poem's title, The Auspicious Flower. Then we'll set the scene with a beautiful spring morning. From there, we'll see how the poem makes this huge leap from a flower to a family and then from a wise person to an entire nation. It all builds up to a challenge in the form of a question, and we'll wrap it all up by unpacking the wisdom inside. Okay, first things first. Let's start with the title, because it's kind of the key that unlocks this whole poem. The poem is called Seosang-hwa, and what's really cool is that it belongs to a genre called Hanji, which is classical Korean poetry written using Chinese characters, or what are known in Korean as hanja. And our poet is a man named Jeong Hang, who was a brilliant scholar way back in the 12th century Goryeo dynasty. The name Seosang-hwa tells you so much right from the get-go. It's made of 3 hanja characters. The first one, sui, is pronounced so, and it means auspicious or a good omen. The second character is shang, pronounced sang, and guess what? It also means auspicious or fortunate. So we're talking about a double dose of good luck here. And the last character, hwa, is pronounced hua. That one's simple. It just means flower. Put it all together, and you get the auspicious flower. It was a plant people believed was a sign that something absolutely wonderful was about to happen. Okay, now that we've got the title down, let's get into the poem itself. The first couple of lines paint this incredibly vivid and beautiful picture. So the first line in Korean is pronounced 신祥喜見만지춘. It sounds so elegant, right? And this is a perfect example of how hanshi can pack a universe of meaning into just a few characters. Let's pull it apart. Let's go through it piece by piece. We start with shin, which means new. Then we have sang, that's our auspiciousness. The next 2 characters, he and gyeon, work together to mean to see with joy. So what is he joyfully seeing? Well, that's man for full and ji for branch. And what are the branches full of? Chon, spring. So when you weave that all together, you get this stunning line. Seeing the new auspiciousness with joy, the branches are full of spring. You can just feel the poet's happiness, can't you? The second line keeps that warm, happy feeling going. It reads,果向今朝得好賓. Here, the poet takes that feeling of joy and compares it to something really special. Let's break this one down too. Gwa gives us a sense of finally, or as a result. Hyangumjo together means towards this morning. And what happens this morning? He, duk, gained or got a hobin, a good guest. So the full line is, finally this morning I have gained a good guest. But wait, who is the guest? It's the flower itself. He's saying that seeing this beautiful flower is as wonderful as having a dear friend arrive at your door. It's just a beautiful way of appreciating the simple gifts nature gives us. Okay, so we've got this beautiful, serene scene. A flower, a spring morning, this feeling of welcoming a friend. And right here, this is where the poem takes a sharp turn. We're about to go from describing a plant to exploring a really profound idea. Those first 2 lines were just the setup. Now comes the main event. This third line, this is the absolute heart of the entire poem. It reads, hwa sao ilse hyonsogok. Just listen to the rhythm of that, the perfect parallel. This is where the wisdom really starts to shine. Let's look really closely at this. The line is split into 2 elegant halves. The first part is hwa seo, the flower's auspiciousness, and it's connected to ilka, which means one family. Then, the second half, hyanseo, a wise person's auspiciousness, is connected to guk, the entire nation. Do you see that incredible parallel he's drawing? This single line is everything. So, what is this analogy all about? Well, it's a huge, powerful comparison between the role of a little flower in a home and the role of a good person in society. The idea is just profound. Just as the auspicious flower brings good fortune and joy to a single family, a wise and virtuous person brings that exact same good fortune, that same peace and prosperity to the entire nation. The poem is arguing that true greatness doesn't come from wealth or power, but from the wisdom and virtue of its people. What you work on inside yourself has this massive ripple effect on the world outside. Now, after making a statement that powerful, the poet could have just stopped there. But he doesn't. He ends with a question, and it's a direct challenge to every single person who reads it. The final line is a rhetorical question that goes, 수 수의 화의 종인. It's basically asking us to take this lesson we've just learned and actually do something with it. So let's look at the words. It starts with 수, meaning who. Then there's another 수, this one meaning to gather. Gather what? 화의, the love for flowers. And what do you do with that love? You or transfer. 정, all of it, to in, which means people or humanity. So the full question becomes this direct challenge. Who will gather the love for flowers and move it all to people? So, who's going to do it? Who is going to take that simple, pure appreciation we have for beauty and nature and transform it into active care, service, and love for other people? The poem implies the answer. It's the 하연인, the wise person, the one who has dedicated themselves to study and self-cultivation. That's who has the responsibility to make the world better. So what can we actually take away from this 800-year-old poem? It's not just about flowers or ancient scholars. It's a timeless lesson in personal and social responsibility. The wisdom here is just timeless. First, it teaches us that a cultivated mind can find profound meaning in the simplest things. Second, it shows that our inner virtue isn't just personal. It literally radiates outward and shapes our communities. Third, it challenges us to transform our appreciation for beauty into genuine compassion and service for others. And finally, the poem makes this powerful argument. Improving yourself isn't selfish. It's your ethical duty to the world. And that brings it all right back to us, here and now. Jeong Hang's poem, written centuries ago, leaves us with a challenge that feels more relevant than ever. It asks us to look at our own lives and consider what good things we are nurturing within ourselves, not just for our own benefit, but for our families, our communities, and the world. So the final question is for you. What flower of wisdom are you cultivating in your life, and how will you share its beauty with others?